I set somebody up for a joke.
All right,
You're
sell
welcome.
me out. I use wire insulation. That's something that I saw.
Really?
No. I change my strings, but right before a show, I'll change the top three again. Just the
the
top
highs.
three.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Huh.
And then I take
You guys, you and Joe, with the scalp necks with the 8s, I just can't even
Wow.
get over that.
Hold on.
That was my biggest. The thing I messed up the most when I took my SG and scalped it is I still had 10s on it, and I got totally messed up because apparently the scalp board plays better with 8s or 9s on it than anything heavier than that.
Really?
I didn't know that. I just thought a string was a string, and it would feel the same on a scalp board. But I was like a deer in the headlights that gig, man, when I tried that.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, my other guitar was right behind me, but I totally forgot it was behind me. I could have just said to hell with this and grabbed my old faithful.
Well, Joe,
I just forgot it was there.
That kind of begs. I wanted to ask this too about that when you were talking about the scalp board, and I wanted to get Joe's opinion on this or thoughts on this. Do you raised action, right? It's higher action on a scalp board, right, Joe?
You can get away with having the action like a touch higher because obviously if the action's too low, kind of chokes the tone anyway. But you can get away with having action a little higher because the guitar's got an overall slinkier feel. I mean, me with all my solo stuff and with Alcatraz and Joe Stump's Tower of Babel, I mean, I always play an E flat anyway, so the guitar's got a slinkier feel. And but I mean, I don't like my action too high because it's not so much about playing technical things or playing fast, but I don't like if the action's too high, the tension, I'm going to have to work too hard to get under the note, and the tension's going to be different if the action's too high. So so I like it. I don't like it super low, of course, where it's choking the tone, but I like it where it's comfortable and stuff. But yeah, you can easily get away with having the action a touch higher with the Scalloped board because guitar overall just has a slinkier feel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because that's what I did on this. I brought this up probably higher than it should be, but it made a huge difference.
When Kenny Baker used to be Ingve's tech, I was playing at this Axes and Anchors cruise, and I was hanging with Kenny, and he had one of Ingve's Strats, and I played it, and it was set up very, and the action was fairly low. Was not like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was comfortable. It was nice. Mine are very, very similar like that. But it was comfortably low, but not too low, of course. Late night.
So would you say that on Strats particularly, that if you have like low action, that is it that you're getting frequencies off the other frets above where you're fretting, or is it just how a Strat works?
Oh, you're talking about that like in relation to the action being too low and choking the tone?
Yeah, I'm just understand. I'm trying to understand what you mean by choking the tone.
Yeah, if the neck's too straight, then like this register of the guitar, you'll hear like a little, you might hear a buzz on like the top string like that. That means it's too low. And then the other thing is if the action's too low, the string can't string can't vibrate properly and sound properly. It'll sound. You won't get as big of a sound.
Okay.
Joe, what are you using in your Strats for pickups?
I mean, I have I have a billion Strats, not a billion, but quite a few. So I mean, I use different ones.
I have a billion.
I don't know how many guitars I got, like 60 something. Me
too. Yeah.
What was it? But so sometimes like in the neck, I'll use the old DiMarzio YJM, which is now the HS4, or sometimes I use the DiMarzio Injector, or sometimes I use the Duncan Fury, and then the bridge. Most of the time, I have a hookup with DiMarzio, so I'll use the HS3, Sometimes I use the Virtual Vintage Solo. Sometimes I use the Duncan Fury. Sometimes I use the DiMarzio Injector. And then I also have, and then it depends on the guitar. Like I have this one Strat that these German dudes made me this hand wound single coils. You know, they're both Blackmore fanatics, so I got this loaded Richie Blackmore pickguard. You know, it's hand wound single coils, and you know this master tone circuit that Blackmore used to have in some of his Strats. So you know, a whole bunch of different guitars, but generally, you know, generally there's certain ones for the neck, certain ones for the bridge, but I mix it up since I have a bunch. I think on my main Alcatraz touring guitars, I got a, you know, most of them have HS3s in the back. One's got an injector in the bridge, and the other ones have the old YJM in the neck.
Yeah, Greg sold me some HS3s once. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, the original HS3s that I had back in '88 were unbelievable.
I know.
Those were probably the single best pickups I ever had in the Strat. I've never heard a pickup like those. And after 27 years, they finally, you know, they started to crap out. I should have sent him back to Larry. Maybe he could have had them re-energized. I don't know. But I went for the new HS3 thinking the design was the same. They claim it is. They say that the design has not changed, just their manufacturing process has improved. But I found that they just didn't have the same push.
Well, that's good that you said that, Greg. That's good that you said that, Greg, because I had a Super Distortion DiMarzio that I loved. That was way back. I got that back in like 1979, and by the time like 1990 came, it just had no output anymore, and it sounded like crap.
Well, that's
and I didn't know that the magnets just die, right? Is that what you're saying?
Remember James Bird and I were talking. I don't know if you know who James Bird is, but he played with Fifth Angel. He was a special guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm good friends with James. Yeah, we were actually talking the other day.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. But he was telling me, he asked me what pickups I used, and I told him HS3s, and he said, you know, eventually they're going to die out on you, and you know, I didn't understand the whole
really.
That. I was like, what do you mean?
That's interesting.
Oh, yeah, the magnets are going to lose it, and you know, you're going to have to change them up, or you can get them, you know, rewound. I tried rewinding them. I sent them out to a guy in California, and he did it according to the factory spec, and I got them back, but they just didn't sound the same. So I tried the new HS3. I also recommended them to Jimmy because I thought they were still the same pickup, but they weren't. He hated them. So, but I'm using the YJM Furies now. And I've also tried the Gilbert pickup, and I found that the Gilbert pickups were a little bit brighter than the YJMs. The YJMs are a little bit duller. So I ripped the YJMs out, tried the Gilberts, just ripped the Gilberts out, and put the YJMs back in again. So
yeah, I was going to give you the Gilberts for free.